If you have a habit of using social media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram, chances are that you've heard or seen this angry bald guy called Andrew Tate at least once. Is his life really what it claims to be? This video might make you think otherwise. Let's talk about Andrew Tate. Emery Andrew Tate was a former kickboxing world champion who would later turn into a social media celebrity, and now has become an inspiration for 12-year-olds who spend most of their time consuming social media, thinking they can become millionaires just by listening to what he says. While this may seem like a person who doesn't do what he says, the other side of the world knows better. On the other hand, we meant something else. If you've seen this 17th season of Big Brother, you'll know that he was kicked out of the show after a video of beating his girlfriend surfaced on social media. It turns out that the Romanian police also raided this alpha male for alleged woman trafficking. Well, the reason he made millions was running webcam services in which girls on the platform were offering relationships to desperate and depressed men. He stepped away from the platform after his raid. But how did the man who was known to be a virtual pimp become one of the biggest influences on very innocent TikTok-obsessed kids? Well, the reason is straightforward. The Hustlers University. Yes, you heard that right. The motive behind this is to sell the idea of a luxury lifestyle to people. It takes a lot of hard work to become successful, but Andrew Tate thinks that you can just be all of that by listening to Hustlers University classes. And statistically, this is not very possible. But the reason these things are trending is that 12-year-old kids, and another thing that gives them a lot of publicity is the social media teams, which will run like butter. The thing is, Andrew Tate does not have his own social media account, but hires people who run his content on social media and manifest what he wants to do, and that is fooling people all over the world. He also has a habit to going on other people's podcasts and saying some things that will make people react, and then he goes on other people's podcasts and repeats this cycle. And after he completes a podcast, he even has a habit of talking shit about the people who invite him into the podcast. And the most famous person he likes collaborating with is a Twitch star named Aiden Ross. At the same time, we talked about how he uses his brain to fool people into becoming rich, what makes him richer every day. But most importantly, the things which made him the most famous are his views on women and his love for sparkling water, and some weird and wild stories that we know in TikTok and Instagram Reels. We see him on the feeds daily talking about some of the most hectic shit, where he talks about how he treats women and the difference in loyalty between men and women. He also says the real drinking water is not the one that you should be drinking, and he doesn't just say these random things. He says in an average sweet pitch, and he says it in a way to look like that he rules over you, and you're bound to be following him. And if we talk about the number of things which he talks about are some of the most clickbaity things that only grown teenagers can believe, I think that he explains his fan base in a nutshell. And while this may seem to be working now, in the long run, this will destroy the most of the minds of kids who believes these things and will grow up with the wrong idea of what really life is. And when things don't work out the way that they want, they may get frustrated and need some therapy. Oh wait, did someone just say therapy? Yes, one of the most controversial topics that this ball guru covered and talked about was therapy. He said the only way to get out of the depression is by going to the gym and working your ass off. While most people may buy into this idea, a gym won't change the fact that the atmosphere you will have and how it will affect you, the people you deal with every day, and how they treat and affect you. And some childhood trauma isn't just cured by the gym. Childhood is one of the most transformative times in your life, and probably the one that will shape your life forever. If you had a childhood that was full of misery and abuse, it is not your fault. It was your parents. And it's also a fact that this will indirectly affect the relationship that you will have with your kids someday or the other. So the conclusion of this video is that you don't have to look and follow other people's advice to become rich and learn morals. You just need some good people and maybe therapy surrounding you to make a better person and successful in your life. Click one of the two videos on the screen right now.